Welcome to Washington Township's Public Library. We're in the Kenny Room at Washington Township, New Jersey, 07676. I'm part of the WCTV all-volunteer public access station. My name is Emily Kratzer. Today we're talking with renowned artist Tom Valenti, a Washington Township resident, and we want to find out about the pictures that are surrounding us here in the Kenny Room. They are absolutely fantastic. Tom has a lifelong collection here. You have said in your biographical material how you started in the South Bronx. Bring us up to speed from there.
I did. Well, I've been here since 1978, by the way, in my same house. So you wanted to know about the South Bronx.
Well, I noticed on your biographical information that you said that informed a lot of the way that you represented the artwork that you did.
Oh, yeah. Well, it formed me in that respect, whereas, you know, I could just remember when I was a kid with the steam coming off of the blacktop. Mm-hmm. And how the sun would burn it away, and I don't know, just little things like that, like the sparkling. It all sparkled to me somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, and are we okay without? Do we have any reflection there? We're trying to be nice for the camera, but here's a picture of what Tom's talking about. Here's a city scene, and there's the steam coming up out of the street. So,
yeah. Now this, I always had a camera on the passenger side, and in this one I was stopped at a red light right in front of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which is off to the right. I had a Blazer, a Chevy Blazer, so I was up a little higher, and just as the light turned green, I took the shot. I took my camera and I took it right out of my, right through my windshield. And that's how I caught that particular image.
Okay, excellent, excellent. We, here at the library, when people come in and visit, they'll get to see some of your, shall we say, Pacific scenes with the oceans. And I, having visited the shore of, whether it's here in New Jersey or up in Cape Cod, it's easy to identify with what we're seeing, these beautiful, beautiful seascapes that you do.
I'm like a chameleon in a way, whereas if I'm in the city, I will find workable images to use for paintings. If I'm by the seashore, I'm all about the seashore, you know, the sound of the waves and the way that the water hits the rocks and the sounds that it makes. There was one beach that I was upon in Massachusetts someplace, and it was baseball-sized stones, thousands of them, a beach of them, and the water would roll in, and as it rolled out, all these stones would all bounce together, and the sound that it made was just sublime, you know. Yeah. And so, anyway, that's in that respect I say, I'm like a chameleon. I am the place that I'm in when I'm in it.
Excellent.
That's what I mean.
That's really neat in the way that you reflect those things then back onto the paper. During the times we've been together at WCTV and the shows where you demonstrated what you were doing, you did something that every artist does, but the viewer doesn't always understand. It's not just that you're putting down color, which you are, but you're also leaving white space, and you're also letting the viewer's eye complete the picture.
Right. I have a strong belief, and it's more than a belief, I know that it's true, because people have often described my work in ways and things that are in the paintings that they see, and I know they're not there because I painted the painting. So yeah, the brain will fill in empty things that aren't really there, but we know what it is. You just have to get close to what it is and get the colors right and the values all correct more than anything. I think that's what it's all about, getting the values properly in line. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You just mentioned color and values. Do you have any particular colors that are your favorite in your palette?
I go by this red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. Right on America. Yellow, red, and blue. Red, yellow, and blue. The triad. Without those three colors, you can't mix something to give you blue. You either have it or you don't. And respectively, same goes for the yellow and the red. Without those colors, you don't have them. But from those colors, you have every color imaginable. And so that's why I don't use just three colors. Of course, I have other colors, but they're variants of red, yellow, and blue.
Right.
So, yeah.
Sometime when we get you back up in the studio, we can demonstrate that by seeing how you mix colors on your palette in order to create all those variations.
Right. And all the different colors, whether it's gray or any color imaginable. Mm-hmm. Any green, any violet, any orange, secondary colors. Any triad, I mean, it's any color possible. I did that thing with the films. Remember with the, I don't have it here with me, but when I was in the studio, I did the thing where I had the overlays.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
where it was
yes.
the red, the yellow, and the blue.
Now, you're talking to somebody who was in newspapers. So for those of you who don't know this, that's the way we did color in print. There were three Mylar sheets,
right,
and they each had the colors in proportion to what was supposed to be true to life.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm in the Pascack News as Jack Valenti.
Oh no!
Yeah, they made a typo.
A movie star out of
and
you.
It says Jack Valenti. Yeah, imagine.
Oh well. We know who you are. You're famous here at home, here in Washington Township.
Well, I know who I am, so that's important.
Right, exactly. So the colors and whatnot, do you have favorite brushes, favorite kinds of styles of brushes that you use?
I've got two brushes that I work with predominantly too. It's a flat brush, 1 inch wide, and that's for wetting the paper and also for putting in the big washes of color, filling in big backgrounds. Then I have a round brush, very pointed round brush that I do the rest of my work with, and that's it. The two brushes is all I use. In oil, I've got fistful of brushes going on all at the same time, but that's a completely different medium other than watercolor. Yeah. Everything here today is a watercolor.
Right.
Anything you see behind glass typically would be a watercolor. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, and there's such a different way that the two media behave. Once you get your paper that you're using for your picture, you get that wet, then you get your color, and it takes a while to dry, or if you want to put layers on, you've got to wait for that to dry.
That's right. You can't glaze, you can't put one color over another unless the first color has dried completely. and then you could put a transparent wash over that to create a glaze. And these buildups, and because the colors are transparent, and it's a buildup, it's really just, to me, it's still mind-boggling after 50 years of working with watercolor. The effects that you get, and just the wonderful things that happen, and the way it handles, easy to clean up. There isn't any solvent involved, and it's just an ideal working medium for any artist or anyone who wants to get involved in art. It's a great way to go.
I was noticing one of the pictures that's on display today, and other visitors can look it up either here or online, I'm sure, but there's a top of the Grand Central Terminal, and you have so much detail in there. I have a sister-in-law who's an artist as well, and I know that you can't just put the color down, you have to delicately place every little detail on the clock or the wording on that one.
Right. Yeah. No, none of it is happening automatically. And the nice thing about watercolor, though, is you can wet a background to put a sky in, and you know the colors will run and create all these great effects. And in oil, you know, you have to paint. You have to create those effects yourself, brush by brush. Brush full of color by brush full of color. So that's the difference between watercolor and oil also. You have to make the effect happen. In oil. In watercolor, a lot of times the effect happens on its own.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you have to roll with it. You have to be very spontaneous because the picture itself is spontaneous.
That's true.
In a way.
And you have to kind of sometimes let the painting go its own way. It's a Zen thing, you know. It really is sort of a Zen sort of thing that takes place.
Yeah. Now let's talk too now about the oils. They are a very different medium. You can build layers with the paint fresh, but if you want to do, I guess, special effects is the way I would say it. You've got probably a better term. But if you wanted to build layers on oil, do you have to wait for that to dry?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no possible way of getting one color on top of another unless the last layer is dry. And especially in, well, either medium. But oil is all about that. Oil is all about the glazes and one layer over the other and this sort of thing. Yeah.
Is it difficult to do landscapes or faces?
I'm not seeing a landscape or a face or water towers or whatever the case may be. I'm seeing a collection of shapes and colors, you know, proportions, the bouncing off of light from one object to another. You know, I'm looking at all those things.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing to me. I look at your face, I see your face, but an artist might see where you've got a little shadow here or a different color or a different texture because you have the beard and I don't. Things like that. But you might be looking at texture and formation of color gradation, and I'm looking at your face.
Right. And I'm seeing a breakdown of shapes and, you know what I'm saying, just proportions and, you know, how everything's lined up and all that, you know, and it's like, it's very cool, it's very interesting.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about your past as a president of you were involved with the Salamagundi and a couple of other professional organizations. Talk a little about that.
Yeah, I was president of Allied Artists of America for 11 years. That was 3 1/3 terms. Longer than anybody else held the position in 110 years. There might have been one other person, Gary Urbay might have been up there. Well, he was the reason that I was the president in the first place. I have to give him credit anytime I mention the fact that I was president, because I wouldn't have been president and a lot of other things either without him. He was a very instrumental part of my later career, let's say, so to speak. It wasn't the beginning. In the beginning, I did it all on my own, but then he came along and really propelled me, and it was great. And so from it, I became an honorary member of the organization. And yeah, the Sal Magundi Club made me a member as well. I'm a member emeritus. Yeah.
And that's very prestigious. The folks watching may not understand it. They can go look up the information, but very prestigious organizations that you've been involved in.
They are, yeah. And sure, I'm proud to have been a part of them.
Yeah.
It was really great, really well worth it. I met a lot of great people. And for those 11 years, everybody was my friend, you know, because I was the president of a nationwide and now worldwide organization.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah.
In your career, have you had a chance to teach people about using watercolors and oils?
I taught for many years in the adult education system. I taught in some of the schools, you know, as a guest teacher or something like this sort, you know. But I was forced into retirement, let's say. I would have still been doing it, but I got this cancer thing that put me in this chair, and is something that's not going to go away.
Now, it may limit your physical abilities, but I understand you're still painting every day. Is that true?
Well, I'm writing my autobiography is what I'm doing.
Very good.
I have an editor and everything taking care of the editing. But I have to make the corrections myself, but she is editing it on a hard copy. But so yeah, I'm spending a lot of my time doing that.
Good. I'm glad you're going to be able to share that. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I've got 21 years left to write about, so I'm pretty close to catching up to where we are.
Right, right. Is there any advice you give to people who might want to be artists or try these different media, but they may not feel like they're good enough or they may be intimidated? Any advice to encourage people?
Yeah, and the same thing that goes to anybody who wants to be anything is to never give up on yourself and never give up on your dreams and to follow your heart, but make the most important decisions in your life based on your intellect and not your emotions. You can't make a decision through an emotional summation of something. You have to do it through your brain.
Right.
And you know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that has been brought to my attention is that you really like this particular quote of your own. The artist has within his or her power the ability to allow people to see and appreciate those things normally taken for granted, to reveal the portrayal of serenity hidden beneath the surface of chaos. It's a beautiful thought, and it's something that encourages us to look beyond. You know?
Yeah. And that's something that I said so many years ago that still stands. You know, it's
Yeah, that's good. That's forever.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. The information here at the Kenny Room at Washington Township Public Library has Mr. Valenti's biographical information as well as his pictures. So we're going to encourage everybody to come while they can. How long is the exhibit up here?
All through June.
Good.
The whole month of June it'll be here.
Yes. Yeah, so we're here on Flag Day, June 14th, 2025. You mentioned the red, white, and blue, and there's a lot of red, white, and blue in the different pictures around here. You may have to look for them, but it's all here.
It's all red, yellow, and blue.
Red, yellow, and blue. Sorry about that. Yeah, right. We do appreciate the fact that you've come and you've brought your work to share with us and with the community, as well as letting people hear from you your own philosophies.
Well, I think it's a privilege to be here to begin with. It's a privilege to be anywhere right now. But it's a privilege to have my work here. I'm really happy that they offered the space here for me and through the month of June. And I really want to come back and do more programs.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, we'll do that. Do we want to bring Noha up here and get Noha to say hello? So Noha is his right hand, his wonderful, wonderful wife.
Noha's my lifeline. Noha's my everything. Noha and I will have been married for 25 years in a few days, in 5 days.
25 years, congratulations.
5 days.
Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
It hasn't been long enough.
Right.
Yeah, it hasn't been.
Right.
It's my buddy here.
Yeah, everybody needs encouragement and support, and
Yes.
that's a very, very
I know I
important thing.
do.
He's actually my life partner.
Yeah.
Life partner.
Yes, yes. We've been through so much. We've done so much together, and every single part of it is a great memory. It's a journey
Wonderful.
by itself.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Wonderful.
beautiful journey.
Yeah. There you go. Well, we want to thank you for coming today, and I'll just wrap up a little bit by saying this is Tom and Noha Valenti. I'm Emily Kratzer, one of the volunteers at WCTV, the all-volunteer station here in Washington Township. Introduce yourself. Hi.
Hello, my name's Yusuf Khalil.
Yusuf Khalil. Very good.
Yusuf
Welcome.
Is actually our nephew.
Ah,
right? And we
nephew.
raised him- Yes.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for joining us today. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
All right. I want to let everybody know that, again, you can find out more about Mr. Valenti online here at the library for this month. And you can come and learn more about WCTV at wctv.us online. Keep us in touch, yeah.
I'm sorry, my website is thomasvalenti.net,
Okay.
and it's not .com anymore. It's .net.
.net.
So yeah, I had to say that. You got to put
Yep.
that in there.
That's right. That's right. The other thing, too, is I want to thank Larry Lafreri for his role in setting all of this up today for WCTV, Paul Hakimian, our famous photographer, and we'll see you around Washington Township.
Thank you, Emily.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
Thank you, Larry.
Thanks, Emily. Thank you, Larry.
Yeah.
And Paul.
Cool.
Paul. Like I always get his name.